Okay, so
Okay.
I recorded, so Michael.
Michael. Where's he going?
Michael.
Just left.
He doesn't go to any of us.
Cole is a nice kid. He's a really nice kid.
He's nice. He just didn't say bye to any of us. I don't polite.
Maybe not.
Kindness and politeness are not the same thing.
All right. So you have some type of polynomial. So we're gonna say you're gonna give you a polynomial as f of x is equal to like something like a n to the x to the n plus a n minus 1 to the x to the n minus 1 plus dot 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 to like a1 to the x plus a0. So some type of polynomial. For example, this is some type of polynomial. Don't look at this, it's so difficult to understand. It just look like this. Have multiple degrees and just going down, just like what you're doing earlier. So we're going to talk about what a possible root is. Okay, so possible roots. So this is called rational root theorem. Let me ask you, what does roots mean? Not trees, no.
The bottom, the origin.
No.
Oh, the one it's made of.
No.
Oh.
What's roots mean?
Like in math or like?
Yeah, in math.
Oh.
In math.
Oh, oh.
Is amount of times it has to be multiplied by itself.
Yeah?
Where's the sign between the A and X? Is that like supposed to be a multiplied sign?
A and X here? No, it's just, yeah, that's multiplication, but it's just they in math, like, 2, 3, that means multiplications. So, or like 2x, that means 2 times x. So that's no big difference. Okay, so what does roots mean?
The original, I said that already. I don't know.
What it
With
could be
exponents?
divided by.
Something with
Just tell us.
exponents. Doesn't hurt to listen to an idiot.
Zeros? It should be 0. What is 0?
0. Nothing.
No,
The
that's just
x-intercept
Oh.
of the graph? But sometimes roots can be complex. So only the difference between roots and 0 is roots could be like a 2i, a negative 2i. So as that doesn't show as x-intercept. So, but usually that means roots means zeros, x-intercept of the graph. Sometimes it's equal to solutions, because that's when that's equal to 0. That's the solutions. But roots means a little bit more. Roots could be means i's and 2i. So sometimes they call it rational zero theorem, because the roots didn't really including here, but possible zeros. So we can call this as possible zeros. So in case that we're gonna say, okay, what are the possible rational zeros? So we can say that as possible rational zeros. So what are the possible rational zeros? So it's equal to the factor of the constant term. Okay, constant term. And over the factor of leading coefficients. Okay, so first of all, let's understand a small piece at a time.
Wait, what's that word? Factor of what coefficient?
Leading coefficients. Leading
constant what? Constant.
coefficients. Okay. So that's a constant term. So what is constant term? Well, you're gonna say, look at this, you say, okay, that's for example, if I have f of x is equal to 3x to the 4th plus 4x to the 3rd plus maybe plus 8, something like this. So this is a polynomial, yes, right? Because there's some type of descending order, there's some type of, there's nothing over x. So what is the constant in this case? So this is the constant. And here is the leading coefficient. Yes, you do learn this before. So that's equal to plus minus, so factor of 8 over factor of 3. What are the factors of 8? 4 and 2 and what?
8.
8 and 1. So it's and you have a plus minus because you can have -1 times -8 is equal to 8. So you can have factor of 8 is plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3. Oh no, it's not 3, sorry. 4, plus minus 8.
Does that have to be in that order?
You can write in any order, but you just have to match them at the end. Over, what's the factor of 3?
3 and 1.
3 and 1. Now, this is not a possible zeros. What you're gonna write in more extensive is write that positive 0 is a combination of all those. So it's pretty much this. I will start with the 1 first, so it'd be plus minus 1. Plus minus, so this one matches with this one, so it's 2. Plus minus 4 divided by 1 is 4. 4 divided by 1. What's 8 divided by 1?
So you're gonna divide every term on top by each term on the bottom?
Yes. And then the same thing on this one. So plus minus 1/3. Plus minus 2/3. Plus minus 4/3. Plus minus 8/3. That's it.
Those are possible.
Those are the possible roots.
Oh, that's the answer?
That's it. Those are the possible roots. But you just have to put in a combination. So it's not difficult. You just have to understand those are the possible roots. And it's also you have to understand the only thing you need to memorize is constant over leading coefficient. So the factor of constant over factor of leading coefficient. So that is the part that you need to understand. Are we okay here?
What if you get like a big, yeah, like.
So can you tell me the rational 0 in this function right here before I divide?
What?
This function here.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
What about it?
Wait, we use 2 to give you the most.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What are we doing? Are we solving it?
No, I don't want you to solve it. I just want to ask me to find a possible root in this case. Possible 0.
Yeah.
It's very easy. I think like even like elementary.
Okay, I get that we're doing this, but like, what's the point?
We're gonna talk about it. We haven't get there yet.
Because I'm just like,
We're gonna get there. Be patient. Can I see the whole front board or no? Maybe you gotta move your seat, like hold, no work.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So right here, what's the possible zeros? Can you tell me?
There's a lot.
Possible zeros? So it's gonna be what, a factor of, so I usually write down factor of 15 over factor of 6. Now here it's gonna be plus minus 1, plus minus 3, plus minus 5, plus minus what? 15. All over plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3.
Plus minus 6.
And plus minus 6. So there are a lot, but just be patient. Just match 1 and 1. There's a lot of repeating 1, if you realize.
Yeah.
There's a lot of repeating 1. So let's start with the first one. So it's going to be plus minus 1, right? Plus minus 3, and then plus minus 5, and plus minus 15. Those are all the integer ones. And then what else? The second match, which is we just match all the first term here. So we match here, 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 right?
Yeah.
So we just did the first one. How about the second one?
Plus minus 1.
Plus minus 1.5,
Plus minus 3 over 2.
plus minus,
Plus minus 5 over 2. Plus minus 15 over 2.
okay, so we just match all the second one. Now the third one is what?
Plus minus 1 over 3.
And then what?
Plus 5 over 3.
No, how about 3 over 3 is what?
No, it
1.
makes 1, so.
So 5 over 3
And 15 over 3 is already
is
there.
5.
It's
5 is right here, it's repeated.
Yeah, so don't.
Okay, so we just finished at 3. How about 6? Plus minus 1 over 6.
Yeah, and plus minus 5 over 6.
And 3 over 6 is 1/2. So 5 over 6. And 5 over 2, I already have it. So those are the possible roots.
Have you had to do this ever?
Huh? On the test, yes, you have to write it. Now, this is the part that's not on SAT, so even you don't know it, like, it's no big deal, it's only a
Wait,
fact.
this is gonna be on the test?
This is not on the SAT.
This
But
is
it's
gonna
gonna be
test
your
on Friday.
Yeah,
There's a test Friday?
yeah.
We literally just said that, like, when you guys were paying attention.
You were the one watching something on.
I was writing things down.
Me too.
For so long, it was so long. I would've spent the whole.
You want to
This?
do that one?
It doesn't waste a lot of time. So let's try with this one.
Okay,
Wait,
doesn't
I'm
raise it.
still writing the other one.
How does this help us on this?
Because
Yeah,
you
how
have
does
to
it
calculate
benefit
media
us?
right combinatorial.
I still don't know what this has to do with anything.
Okay, basically when they graduate.
Now, I will say this is probably the one of more useless thing that you will learn in this class, but I still have to teach you.
I thought you meant the life. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Is this useless in life?
When they graduate.
I mean, it's useless in this class.
This is useful? This in life, this would be very useful.
There's no repeating, right?
Wait.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so now, what are the possible zeros? Well, possible zeros,
There are a lot of fun.
possible zero are plus minus 2. I'm gonna do it backwards here.
Why?
Plus minus 15,
Oh, you wanna make a life?
plus minus 5, plus minus 3, plus minus 1.
Not that part, right?
So this is not a possible zero, it's basically it's divided by this. Okay, so it's gonna be plus minus 2 over 15, plus minus 2 over 5, plus minus 2 over 3. It doesn't take long. And plus minus 2. No, sorry, 15, right? Oh, I did it the other way, sorry. 2 over 5, 2 over 3, and then 2 over 1. And then I can do it this way too, so plus minus, just match here, 1 is matching over here. 15 plus minus 1 over 5. And then plus minus 1 over 3. And then plus minus 1. So those are the possible zeros. Am I going too fast?
Why is there two plus minuses? Like between the 2 over 5 and 2 over 3?
Yeah, you put plus or minus over 3.
It's plus minus 2 over 15, plus minus 2 over 5.
Plus minus
3. What?
You put plus or minus over 3.
Oh. Are we okay here?
Hold on.
Now, that's the easy part.
We have like 1 minute.
That's the easy part.
Mr. We have like 1 minute. He said it was like 10. I swear to God, Jerry. I like you.
I have a lot more longer than that, I know that. Okay, so I know my time.
I don't like you.
Now we're gonna go to how to find the zeros. So those are the possible zeros. But here's the thing, you should always try the easiest one. Which one's the easiest one? Or one with no fraction, right? So here is the easiest one, and here's the easiest one. So that's the easiest target. So this is the target. And now, of course, which one's easier? 2 or 1's easier?
1.
1's easier. So I should try 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1 as standard division. I'm going to plug in 1. So I'm going to plug in f of 1 and see what happens. But we talk about we don't do f of 1 anymore. We actually do 1 because we do standard division. Actually, we can take 2 goals in once. And those 2 goals are very, very important. So if I plug in 1 in here, right? And I'm going to go 15, 14, and -3, and -2. So what my goal is, make sure this part is a 0. But if it's not 0, then that's a failed attempt. So we want to try to get this part. Try to get zeros. But I don't know if this is going to come up 0. If it doesn't get 0, you're going to try again. So we're going to talk about why is that. So it's going to be 15. 15 and 1 is what?
15.
15.
29.
29. 1.
29.
26, I think.
Yeah.
26 here is going to be 24. Is that 0?
No.
No.
No. Fail attempt. Fail attempt.
Just like my test scores.
Okay, but that's okay. Then we're going to try -1 and see what happens. So usually the things occur between +1, -1, or +2, -2. It depends how lucky you draw. Sometimes you draw as a very easy number. So you're going to do -1 here. I'm going to hopefully they work out. If it doesn't work out, we're going to do -1, +1. So 15 here. 15 times 1, -1.
-15.
-1, -1 times -1.
Wait, where are we?
2. -2, -2 times -1.
Yay, 0.
0, yes.
Wait.
So you cheer.
Hooray!
Okay.
Wait.
Mister, isn't this
I
like
am
time
going
consuming?
confused.
Like what if I chose 2
This
first?
is
Then
so
I have to do
Oh, that's
+2,
why.
and then I have to do -2, and then I
That's
do
why you
+1.
start with 1 first.
Well, what if I chose a different number first?
Well, that's you. He said to choose the lowest number. That's
Still,
easier.
sometimes, what if the lowest number was wrong though? Then you have to go through the list.
Yes.
You go
The
through the
lowest
list.
number, like one
Yeah, it takes like 5 hours.
That takes forever.
That's why
Okay,
it's
so
not gonna
now we got 0. So why do we get 0? If we get 0, that means we plug in, that means what? If I get 0, that means x equal to -1. What happened? My y value is 0. But that means what? X equal to -1, that's the x-intercept, right?
Yeah.
Now, remember that question that we did, if x equal to -1 is the x-intercept. What is a factor?
One,
What?
No, just move the -1 over to the other side.
it'd be x.
Oh, x plus 1.
X plus 1 is a factor. X plus 1 is a factor. Always set it equal to 0, because when you solve x equal to -1, if you move the -1 to the other side, remember when on the test there's a question going like this. I think it's like -2 and 5, right? Here's 5, and we say, can you find the equation of that? So basically, use the rational root theorem. Use the x-intercept or factor format is if -2 is 0, then it should be x plus 2 is a factor, and this one should be x minus 5. And we just had to figure out the a value. I think the a value is -1/4, and that's how you get your answer is. But so that -2 is going to change to a factor. So look at here, x equal to -2. If I change it to a factor, it's going to be plus 2. So that's how you get plus 2. So if I moved here, it's going to be plus 1. X plus 1 is a factor. Does that make sense? So x plus 1 is a factor of this. So what happens if I take this divided by x plus 1? What am I going to get in?
Same.
Zero?
Same thing.
If I take this polynomial
Yeah.
divided by x plus 1,
You're gonna get the same thing.
what am I going to get in?
Same
Not the same thing.
The f of negative.
Oh, plus 1.
Oh,
Oh my god,
15
what?
x
I don't know.
squared.
Is it
Oh.
a factor?
X squared.
I'm confused.
Minus x.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Is it like the inverse?
You think about it. Okay, so think about this. F third plus 14x squared minus 3x minus 2. If I take this and I divided this factor, right? Which is, I already did here. Remember, if I divide this, what do I do as a net division? We change the sign, right?
Yeah.
It's x minus 1. So we change it from plus 1 to -1, and that's my result. If that's the result, then I know my answer is going to be, my answer is going to be 15x squared minus x minus 2. That's my result. But that also means if I times both sides by x plus 1, that means what? 15x to the 3 plus 14x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to x plus 1 times 15x squared minus x minus 2. Yes?
How does it? What are we trying to solve for though?
We're trying to find all the real zeros. So we only find one.
Could I have mine too?
Oh, so.
Huh?
Could I have mine too?
What'd you say?
Could I have mine too?
Yes, of course.
So do
We're
we
gonna
have-
find out. And this part is a trinomial. Trinomial means what?
3.
I can what?
Oh.
Factor using what?
Box numbers.
A box, right? So if this is equal to this, can I factor more? Yes, of course. So 15x squared minus x minus 2, if I factor it, so I'm going to factor on the bottom. I'm going to say 15x squared minus 2 minus x. So that's going to be 5x, 3x. Which one's going to be 2? This one's going to be 2, this one's 1. So 5x and 6x. Which one need to be negative?
Oh my god.
6 need to be negative, good. So that's gonna be equal to x plus 1 times what? 5x minus 2 times 3x plus 1. So I just factor completely from that form to this form.
But can't you do that without doing all that?
No, you cannot do it because factor by grouping doesn't work here. Factor by grouping doesn't work here. So you're gonna use something called factor theorem. So you guys might just say, oh, I cannot do this. You guys just like this. You give up because this is like water bottle, right? My job as a teacher is I'm trying to fill the water in. But you close your water bottle close completely. There was no way for me to fill it in.
Wow.
So there are things like this. So the only thing he says, okay, let's learn it. I don't give a shit if it's important or not, let's learn it. Let's see if you fill this water bottle. You can choose to dump it later. I can promise you, after the test, you can choose to dump it if you want. But if you want to do well, you have to fill into the bottle and just absorb it as much as you can. But you have to believe yourself that you can do it. You have to open up the water bottle, says, hey, let's learn about new things. Instead of saying, I can do this, it's too hard. But most of you guys, when it's too hard, guess what? You're just gonna get tighter and tighter and
I'm gonna tell
tighter.
you something. My water bottle fills up and it opens while learning. It dumps out right before the test. But I really want
Her
Rachel's
water bottle's too
bottle is
small.
just a little
Okay,
bit
so
over.
It's like this.
if I change the factor form, what does that mean? That can give you zeros. -1 is zeros. X equal to 2 over 5 is a 0. X equal to -1 over 3 is 0. Not only that, what's my multiplicity?
1 for all of them.
One.
And then can I graph this?
Yes.
Oh my god, this makes so much more sense now.
Are we like connecting so much stuff?
Wait. What? I can't see.
Oh my god.
So,
Are you serious?
This is just all a cycle.
Wait, what did you tell me straight
so you got homework on this. If you don't understand, go back watch the video again.
I watched that video like 10 times.
Bro, that makes
No,
so
mister, this makes so much more sense now.
Have you watched ours?